With the power of Tandem HR, you are in the fast lane on Main Street with Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs. Now, the champion of networking, the advocate of jobs, the guru of business, your host, Shalom Klein.
We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information that you won't want to miss. It's a live show, first show of the new year. You could call us with your questions at 312-642-5600, 312-642-5600. Get Down to Business is powered by Tandem HR, your solution center. You can find them at tandemhr.com or give them a call at 630-928-0510. Tandemhr.com, your source for so much valuable and insightful information, and a team of professionals. Give them a call, 630-928-0510. This week we'll be joined by guests JJ Montanaro, Jacob Meister, Wayne Breitbarth, and Henry Goodelman. And I'll be sharing some tips on budgeting for the new year. We've got a ton of information for you. You can download podcasts from last year's shows at shalomklein.com. But first up on the program, a real treat. We have JJ Montanaro, who is a financial planner with USAA, and our listeners probably know this instinctively, but perhaps to confirm it a little bit better, JJ, you believe that 25% of all New Year's resolutions are already broken by the second week of January. Tell us a little bit more about those New Year's statistics and those New Year's resolutions.
Well, Shalom, that's nothing that I can vouch for personally. Let me just say that up front. All my resolutions make it till at least the end of January.
That's good. I hope your family would agree.
Well, they're not here, so you'll just have to take my word for it.
Well,
but yeah, no, that's really with all good intentions, whether it's having to lose weight or get in physical shape, or in our case, we looked at making headway on your personal finances. A lot of those resolutions melt with the snow, and as you said, a lot sooner than that sometimes.
And the beginning of January is a time for a fresh start. I just came from yet another holiday party, and again, putting the nutrition and the dieting aside for a moment, everybody was talking about their New Year's resolutions, and the comments made just literally minutes ago at this family event was, well, New Year's resolutions really start on the first day of the work week. So we're now going into several days into January, and I think people aren't taking their commitments as seriously as they should. So tell us a little bit about some of the tips that you can provide about how to save money, how to refinance, how to find those ways to, as some of our guests on the show have referred to in the past, as cutting those wealth leaks.
Right. Well, Shalom, we did USA Bank did a survey last month to get a sense of how people were doing, what they were doing, and how they felt about savings. And on the positive side, there was more than 70% had said sometime during 2015, sometime during last year, they had reviewed their finances in an effort to look for ways to save money. And so that's the good news story, and we're sitting here at a point in time of year where people are doing just that, just as we've just talked about. But the bad news is that 50+% couldn't find a way to save regularly. So I think the key is to find a strategy, find ways that you can save now in the first 2 weeks of January, but also be saving in March and July and so on and through the year. So I think looking for sustainable ways to save is an important component of getting it right when it comes to New Year's resolutions.
Absolutely. We're talking with JJ Montanaro, a certified financial planner with USA Bank. JJ, you have over 2 decades of experience as a financial planner. And you mentioned something fascinating earlier, that there is a divide between people. I'm curious, is there a difference between men and women when it comes to saving?
Well, one of the I thought surprising aspects of the survey was that 32% of men reported that they were able to save regularly, and there was about a 10% gap there were fewer women that that said the same thing. So I think that's almost counterintuitive, based on my own experience, and maybe it's just how things go at the Montanaro house. But there were fewer women that were reporting that they could save than men. So I don't know about you, Shalom, but that was a surprise to me.
That is a surprise, and it's really fascinating, and hopefully we'll have more time in future segments to continue that discussion, maybe check in throughout the year on that subject as well. But there's also, I think, a little bit of a difference that I've noticed when it comes to how people react when they end up with an unexpected emergency, an unexpected expense, when they end up in a money pinch. What do most people do, JJ? Do they borrow, or how do people figure that situation out?
Well, the majority of people, and I think this is, again, another good news aspect to the survey, a majority of people were tapping their savings. So they're tapping money that they've set aside. And I think that's a good thing and certainly a reason to save. If you can build a cash cushion that when something comes up that's unexpected, you've got a go-to place where you can get that money and you don't have to borrow it or you don't have to sell something. That's a good thing, and that's why, as financial planners, we always encourage the folks that we work with to really focus on building up an emergency fund. There was roughly 25% of the folks in this particular survey we're talking about that were forced to sell items if they came up with a shortfall, and we've just made it through the holidays. There was another 35% that had to borrow money, whether that was using credit cards or borrowing money from friends or family. So I think if you've built a place to go when you're confronted with those sorts of expenses, then you're going to be in a lot better position than if you do have to borrow, whether it's from friends or family or using a credit card. I think having the money on your own, and that's what we're really encouraging people to do, is save. In the first place you save is something as simple as a savings account, but it can provide some real relief if something goes awry.
JJ, interest rates have been in the news a great deal, and interest rates, even though there have been changes, we're still hovering at near record lows. So switching gears for a second from the reactive, from the moments that people have to scramble and tap into their savings, what about being proactive and trying to think about refinancing? Is this a good time of year to have that discussion in households around the country?
Yeah, I think so. We did see the Fed raising interest rates in a very small way, and so for those savers, hopefully that will eventually turn into earning something more than nothing on their savings account. And so I before we get into the refinance, I would say one of the things about savings, and it can be a little disheartening to have your money in a savings account or a money market account and not be earning a lot of money, but the point of that is to have the money when you need it. And so there's certainly a place, whether there's big interest earnings or not, for money and savings. But I think you hit another important point, and that's that the specter may be, or the sun may be setting on the low interest rate environment that we've had for a number of years now, and so that makes right now an ideal time to look at perhaps refinancing a mortgage, refinancing a car, and when we talk about sustainable ways to save on a regular basis, those are opportunities that you're going to have with you for the rest of the year in terms of being able to save on less money paid on your mortgage or less money paid on your car.
Sure. So once again, while spending less and saving more may not have topped dieting resolutions, it certainly was the top resolution made by people yet again as they entered into the new year. Now in 2016, listen, I wish everybody the best of luck at trying to keep all of their resolutions, but really fascinating information. J.J. Montanaro sharing with us that by the second week of January, 25% of all New Year's resolutions have already been broken. And thank you, J.J., for all those helpful tips and advice. And I really would love to check in with you over the coming months and perhaps learn a little bit more of tips and advice for our listeners. So, J.J., in the meantime, how can our listeners get a hold of you if they want to learn more and hear more about the great work at USAA?
Yeah, visit USAA.com, and if they've got questions they'd like to ask specifically, they can go to USAA.com/AskUSAA.
Fantastic. JJ Montanaro, a certified financial planner with USAA. We appreciate your time, and we'll be sure to check back in with you real soon. Happy New Year to you and your family, and good luck with those resolutions.
Happy New Year. Take care, Shalom.
All right, thanks. Get Down to Business is also brought to you in part by Everett Wealth Solutions, a registered investment advisor and financial planning firm, a fiduciary advisor that helps you create your personal wealth. You can check them out at everettwealthsolutions.com or give them a call at the easiest phone number to remember. It's 708-771-7777. That phone number again is 708-771-7777. And as you head into the new year, give our friends at Tandem HR a call. They're at 630-928-0510 or visit their website, tandemhr.com. After the break, I've got some more tips for you on LinkedIn. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to be chatting with Wayne Breitbarth about some LinkedIn resolutions for the new year. You're listening to Get Down to Business.
Stuck